Today, we will learn about equivalent ratios. Rahul has 18 red marbles and 30 green marbles. Here, the number of green marbles is higher. Can you tell me how many times is the number of red marbles of the green marble? Think. Okay, let me tell you. Here, if we multiply the number of green marbles, that is 30, by 18 by 30, we will get the number of red marbles, that is 18. So, we can say that the number of red marbles is 18 by 30 times the number of green marbles. Or, we can say that the number of red marbles is 18 by 30 of the number of green marbles. Here, we have compared the two quantities like this. How much is one quantity of the other? Or, how many times is one quantity of the other? A comparison that tells us that one quantity is how much of the other or one quantity is how many times of the other is called a ratio. We express the ratio with a colon sign. For example, here the ratio of the number of red marbles to the number of green marbles is 18:30. This shows that the number of red marbles is 18 by 30 times of the number of green marbles. We can also express this comparison in reverse. Just like the number of green marbles is obtained by multiplying the number of red marbles by 30 by 18, we can say that the number of green marbles is 30 by 18 times the number of red marbles. That is, the ratio of the number of green marbles to the number of red marbles is 30:18. By looking at these two ratios, you must have understood by now that in a ratio, order is very important. Any ratio can be expressed in its simplest form. To do this, we first express the ratio as a fraction. For example, here we will express 18:30 as 18 by 30. Then we will divide the numerator and denominator of the fraction with the HCF of the numerator and denominator. Here, the HCF of 18 and 30 is 6. Dividing both 18 and 30 by 6 will reduce 18 by 30 in its simplest form to 3 by 5. Then, we express it in the form of a ratio. Just like 3 by 5 can be expressed in the form of a ratio as 3:5, 3:5 is the simplest form of the ratio 18:30. Here comes another important point. Ratios 18:30 and 3:5 both have equal values and are called equivalent ratios. Okay, is there only one equivalent ratio for 18:30? Think a bit. Let me tell you. If we write 18:30 in fraction form and then divide its numerator 18 and denominator 30 by 2, then we will get the new fraction as 9 by 15, which can be written as 9:15 in ratio form. Since both the numerator and denominator are being divided by the same number, the value of 9 by 15 will be equal to 18 by 30. This means 9 by 15 is an equivalent fraction of 18 by 30. Or, in terms of ratio, we will say 9:15 is also an equivalent ratio of 18:30. Similarly, in the fraction 18 by 30, if we multiply both 18 and 30 by 2, then we get a new fraction as 36 by 60, which is 36:60. This is also an equivalent ratio of 18:30. In this way, we can now say that a ratio can have many equivalent ratios. Now imagine you're given two ratios. For example, 9:15 and 6:10. Now compare these two ratios. First express them as fractions. For example, 9:15 becomes 9 by 15 and 6:10 becomes 6 by 10. Then, convert them into fractions with the same denominators. Since the LCM of denominators of both the fractions is 30, make the denominators of both the fractions as 30 so that their numerators can be compared. To make the denominator of 9 by 15 as 30, multiply both the numerator and the denominator of the fraction by 2. This will give us the new fraction as 18 by 30. Similarly, multiplying the numerator and the denominator of the fraction 6 by 10 by 3 will give us the new fraction 18 by 30. By doing so, both the fractions become 18 by 30. When the denominators are the same and the numerators also become the same, they are called equivalent fractions. Like here, 9 is to 15 and 6 is to 10 are equivalent ratios. Now let's compare 1 is to 3 and 3 is to 4. First, express it in terms of fractions, like LCM of denominators 3 and 4 is 12. So make the denominators of both the fractions as 12. 1 by 3 into 4 by 4 is equal to 4 by 12 and 3 by 4 into 3 by 3 is equal to 9 by 12. Here, 4 by 12 is lesser than 9 by 12. Notice that both the fractions are not the same. Instead, 4 by 12 is lesser than 9 by 12. Therefore, 1 is to 3 and 3 is to 4 are not equivalent ratios. If two ratios are equivalent ratios, then they're in proportion. For example, since 9 is to 15 and 6 is to 10 are equivalent ratios, they are proportionate and are expressed as 9 is to 15 is in proportion to 6 is to 10 or with a double colon. In any statement of proportion, four numbers are expressed in order. These numbers are called terms. Of these, the first and the fourth terms are called extreme terms, while the second and the third term are called middle terms. You must have now understood the concept of equivalent ratios. Can you think of some examples of equivalent ratios? Try it. Today, we learned about equivalent ratios. We will look at some examples in the next video. Today, let's look at some examples of equivalent ratios. Class 7 results of previous and current year of a school are shown in the table. Find out which year had better results. Stop the video and think about this. To find the answer, first take the ratio of the number of students who passed last year to the number of students who failed last year, which is 54 is to 6. Then, take the ratio of the number of students who passed this year to the number of students who failed this year, which is 63 is to 7. Now compare these two ratios. Any idea how? Absolutely right. To find out whether the two ratios are equivalent ratios or not, we express both the ratios in the form of fractions. For example, we would express 54 is to 6 as 54 by 6 and 63 is to 7 as 63 by 7. Now convert them into fractions with the same denominator. Here, we see that 54 can be divided by 6, which will reduce the fraction to 9 by 1. Similarly, 63 can be divided by 7 and will also reduce the fraction to 9 by 1. Now that the denominator is same for both the fractions, compare their numerators. Here, we see that the numerators of both the fractions are equal. Therefore, both the fractions are equal. So 54 by 6 is equal to 63 by 7. That is, both the fractions are equivalent fractions. 54 is to 6 is equal to 63 is to 7. Therefore, the performance of Class 7 last year and this year is the same. Ramesh covers a distance of 5 kilometers in 20 minutes. Find out what distance Ramesh would be able to cover at the same speed in 2 hours. We can find out the distance that Ramesh will be able to cover in 2 hours using the unitary method. In this method, we first get the value of 1 unit and then find out the number of units that we want from this value. To do this, first find out how much distance Ramesh covers in 1 minute. He covers a distance of 5 kilometers in 20 minutes. Therefore, in 1 minute he should cover a distance of 5 by 20 kilometers. That is, a distance of 1/4 kilometer. Now we have to find the distance he covers in 2 hours. Now 2 hours is equal to 2 into 60, which is equal to 120 minutes. So the distance covered in 2 hours is equal to distance covered in 1 minute, that is 1/4, into 120 minutes, which is equal to 30 kilometers. Therefore, Ramesh covers a distance of 30 kilometers in 120 minutes or 2 hours. Now let us solve this example using proportions. Since we know that the speed is the same in both the situations, the relation between time and distance is proportionate. That is, time in the first situation is to the time in the second situation is equal to distance in the first situation is to distance in the second situation. The time for the first situation is 20 minutes and the time for the second situation is 2 hours. But when expressed in terms of ratio, we will express it as 2 into 60 is equal to 120 minutes. Any idea why we're doing this? Absolutely correct, because in a ratio, the units of both the quantities need to be the same. So, in this ratio, the time of the first situation is 20 and second situation is 120. Similarly, the distance being covered in the first situation is 5 kilometers and we have to find the other distance. The ratio, when expressed as a fraction, would be 20 by 120 and 5 kilometers by the distance covered in second situation. To solve this, take the inverse of the fraction on both sides by swapping the numerator and the denominator with each other. 120 by 20 is equal to distance of the second situation by 5. Now either multiply both sides by 5 or take the 5 from the left to the right and change the sign from division to multiplication. Distance in second situation by 5 into 5 is equal to 120 by 20 into 5, which is equal to 30 kilometers. You must have understood how we can solve such examples with the unitary method and through proportions. Today, we have seen examples of equivalent ratios. In the next video, we will see misconceptions related to it. Today, we will look at misconceptions related to equivalent ratios. Misconception 1. The teacher asked the class, are 5:8 and 9:12 equivalent ratios? To this, Meera answered yes, while Manisha answered no. Who do you think was right, Meera or Manisha? We can write 5:8 as 5 by 8 and 9:12 as 9 by 12. You would think that just because 8 minus 5 is equal to 3 and 12 minus 9 is also equal to 3, the two ratios 5:8 and 9:12 are equivalent ratios. However, this is incorrect. So Manisha has got the right answer. Manisha has understood that the ratios have to first be written as fractions and then their denominators have to be made the same. In order to do this, take the LCM of 8 and 12, which is 24. So, the denominators of both of the fractions has to be 24. To achieve this, multiply the numerator and the denominator of the fraction 5 by 8 by 3 and 9 by 12 by 2. From this, we will get the new fractions as 15 by 24 and 18 by 24. The denominators of both the fractions are now the same, but the numerators are different. Here, 15 by 24 is lesser than 18 by 24. We can say that 5:8 and 9:12 are not equivalent ratios. Misconception 2. Which of these two statements do you think is correct? 18:36 is greater than 16:32, or 18:36 is equal to 16:32. It is wrong to think that since 18 is greater than 16 and 36 is greater than 32, 18:36 is greater than 16:32. Comparing two ratios in this way is incorrect. Hence, option 1 is incorrect. To get the correct answer, we have to convert both the ratios into fractions and make their denominators the same. 18:36 is equal to 18 by 36, which is equal to 1 by 2. And 16:32 is equal to 16 by 32, which is also equal to 1 by 2. Since the value of both the fractions is the same, that is, 18:36 is equal to 16:32, both the ratios are equivalent ratios. Hence, the correct answer is option 2. Hopefully, you have understood these commonly made mistakes and will not repeat them. Today, we saw a few misconceptions related to the equivalent ratios. Today, we will learn about percentage. Here, we have 3 yellow cars and 2 blue cars. If we consider a total of 5 cars as a whole, then what part of the total cars do the yellow cars constitute? Think for a while. You've got it right. There are 3 yellow-colored cars out of the total 5 cars. Hence, their share will be 3 by 5. If we have to represent this fraction in a square of 100 equal parts, then how will we do it? We will find an equivalent fraction to 3 by 5 whose denominator is 100. For this, we will multiply both the numerator and denominator of the fraction 3 by 5 by 20 to get 60 by 100. Now, we will shade 60 parts out of 100 equal parts. In this way, we have represented 3 by 5 in squares of 100 equal parts. Here, 60 is the numerator of a fraction whose denominator is 100. The numerator of a fraction whose denominator is 100 is called percent. We write it this way, and we read it as 60%. But 60 by 100 is also read as 60 hundredths. Meaning of hundredths is out of 100. If we use the word hundredths or percentage, it means per 100 or out of 100. In this way, 60 hundredths or 60% means 60 out of 100. Since the numerator here also expresses the parts taken out of 100, we can say that the percent represents the parts taken out of a total of 100 equal parts. Now let's find out how to find percent in mathematics. Suppose a bag contains 5 red balls, 6 blue balls, and 9 yellow balls. Let us find the percent of balls of each color. First, we will find the total number of balls. Here the sum of 5 plus 6 plus 9 is 20. That is, out of 20, there are 5 red balls, which we will represent with fraction 5 by 20. Similarly, can you tell me how you will represent the total number of blue and yellow balls in the fraction? Think about it. Absolutely right. 6 out of 20 are blue balls, so it can be written as 6 by 20, and 9 out of 20 are yellow balls and can be written in the form of fraction 9 by 20. First, out of the total balls, let us find the percent of red balls. For this, we will have to convert 5 by 20 fraction into its equivalent fraction, whose denominator is 100. Think about how we will do this. Let me explain. We will multiply both the numerator and the denominator of 5 by 20 by 5. By doing this, we will get an equivalent fraction of 5 by 20, that is 25 by 100. Percent is the numerator of the fraction whose denominator is 100. In this fraction 25 by 100, the denominator is 100 and the numerator 25, so we will call it 25% and write it like this. There is another method for conversion. We will understand that while finding the percent of blue balls. Here, the fraction of blue balls is 6 by 20. We will multiply both its numerator and denominator by 100. Since we are multiplying the numerator and denominator by the same number, the value of the fraction will not change. Now, we can write it as 6 into 100 by 20 into 1 by 100. 1 by 100 means a percent, which we will represent by this symbol. On solving it, we will find that the blue balls are 30% of the total balls. This method is very effective in situations where there is a difficulty in converting the denominator of a fraction to 100. For example, to express 4 by 15 as a percent, we will multiply 4 by 15 into 100 by 100, which is equal to 4 into 100 by 15 into 1 by 100, which is equal to 400 by 15%, which is equal to 26 by 3%. In this way, you must have understood by now how we express a fraction in percent. Now, will you be able to find the percent of yellow balls? Try it for yourself. Today, we learned percentage. In the next video, we will understand this concept better with some more examples. In the previous video, we understood percent means per 100. In this video, we will see some examples of percentage. A classroom consists of 40 students, out of which 12 students are absent today. Find the percentage of students who are absent and students who are present. The total number of students in the class is equal to 40. The number of students absent is equal to 12. Therefore, the number of students absent comprises of 12 by 40 part of the total number of students. To express it in percent, we have to convert the denominator of the fraction to 100. For this, we will multiply the fraction 12 by 40 with 100 and divide it by 100 so that the value of the fraction does not change. 12 by 40 is equal to 12 by 40 into 100 by 100, which is equal to 12 by 40 into 100%, which is equal to 12 into 100 by 40%, which is equal to 1200 by 40%, which is equal to 30%. Therefore, 30% of the students are absent in the classroom today. The number of students present is equal to the total number of students minus the number of students absent, which is equal to 40 minus 12, which is 28. So, the number of students present is 28 by 40 part of the total number of students. Let us express it in percent. 28 by 40 equals to 28 by 40 into 100 by 100, which is equal to 28 by 40 into 100%, which is equal to 28 into 100 by 40%, which is equal to 2800 by 40%, which is equal to 70%. We can find the percent of number of students present in another method. Any guesses how? Let me tell you. The total number of students in the classroom is 40. Since it expresses the total or whole part, we can consider it 100%. Since we have obtained the percent of students absent is 30%, we can say that the percent of number of students present is equal to 100% minus 30% is equal to 70%. Next example. 250 ice creams were ordered for a school festival. If 20% of these are vanilla ice cream, find the total number of vanilla ice creams. Here, out of 250, 20% are vanilla ice cream, that is 20% of 250. X percentage of a number y is equal to X percentage into y. Thus, the quantity of vanilla ice cream is equal to 20% into 250. Because 20% of 250 is equal to 20% into 250. Since percentage is 1 by 100, the number of vanilla ice cream is equal to 20 by 100 into 250, which is equal to 50. That is, 50 out of the 250 are vanilla ice creams. Example 3. Ajay has scored 592 out of 800 in a competitive examination. Find out what percentage of marks did he obtain. If in the same examination his friend Raman has obtained 84%, then find out how many marks did he score out of 800. It is given in the example that Ajay has scored 592 by 800. Here, the total marks are 800, out of which Ajay has scored 592 marks. Let us express the score in percent. 592 by 800 is equal to 592 by 800 into 100 by 100. Here, we can express 1 by 100 in percentage. In this way, 592 by 800 is equal to 592 by 800 into 100%, which is equal to 592 by 8%, which is 74%. Hence, Ajay has obtained 74% in the examination. Now let's find out how much Raman got. Since Raman obtained 84% out of 800 marks in the exam, marks obtained by Raman is equal to 84% into 800. Since percentage is equal to 1 by 100, we can write 84% as 84 by 100. The marks obtained by Raman is equal to 84 by 100 into 800, which is equal to 84 into 8, which is equal to 672. Therefore, Raman has scored 672 marks out of 800 in the examination. Today, we saw examples of percentage. Why don't you play a game of asking percentage questions and getting answers with your friends? In the next video, we will see some common mistakes related to percentage. Today, we will see some common mistakes related to percentage. Akash has 30 red marbles out of a total of 120 marbles. Find out the percent of red marbles he has. To find the percent, some students divide the total number of pieces by the number of pieces taken. In this way, they divide the whole part by a part. For instance, when solving this example, 120 is divided by 30 to get the result 4%, which is incorrect. Let us find out the correct answer. Percent means the number of parts taken out of 100 parts. Here, 30 parts are taken out of 120. So, we will find out if 30 parts are taken out of 120. Then how many parts will be taken out of 100? To find out, we will multiply 30 by 120 with 100 by 100. Since the numerator and denominator is being multiplied by the same number, there is no change in the value of the fraction 30 by 120. 30 by 120 into 100 by 100 is equal to 1 by 4 into 100%, which is equal to 25%. In this way, Akash has 25% red marbles. Next question. Tina wanted to find 15% of 20. She obtained the result 300. Did she get the right result? Some students do not have the correct understanding to find the percent of a number. That is, they fail to understand that x% of a number y is equal to x% into y. Some mistakes are made by this. Here, Tina ignored the percentage sign in order to get 15% of 20 and multiplied 20 by 15 and got the result 300, which is the wrong answer. The correct understanding is that the use of operator of here expresses the operation of multiplication. In this way, 15% of 20 is equal to 15% into 20, which is equal to 15 by 100 into 20, which is equal to 3. Here, the correct answer is 3. Many times it is observed that to get 15% of 20, students divide 20 by 15 or divide 15 by 20. This mistake is made because they fail to understand the operator of properly. Such mistakes lead to incorrect results. Therefore, it is necessary to understand the use of the operator of correctly. Next question. During a survey, it was found that 20% of the total 50 students enjoy studying mathematics. So, how many students enjoy studying mathematics? Many times, students misunderstand percent to be real numbers. Like in this example, they misread 20% of 50 students enjoy studying mathematics, that 20 children enjoy studying mathematics. But this is a misunderstanding. Here, 20% of 50 students enjoy studying mathematics, hence the number of students who like mathematics will be 20% into 50, which is equal to 20 by 100 into 50, which is equal to 10. So the correct answer is 10. Sometimes the total number is divided by percent and multiplied with 100 to find the number of students who enjoy studying mathematics. For instance, here 50 is divided by 20 and then multiplied by 100 to give the result 250, which is the wrong answer. Today, we saw some common mistakes related to percentage. Today, we will learn some important concepts related to percentages, fractions, and decimals. Many times, we come across situations where we need to convert percent into fraction or decimal and vice versa. Let's understand these conversions. Suppose Dinesh, Ramesh, and Rahul gathered some flowers together. Out of the total flowers, if 2/5 part is gathered by Dinesh, 7 by 20th part by Ramesh, and 1/4 by Rahul, can you tell who collected more flowers? Can you tell us how to do this? Think for a while. You got it right. Here we need to compare 2 by 5, 7 by 20, and 1 by 4. We can find the answer by comparing fractions, but we will make use of percentages here. In the previous video, we have understood the concept of percentage. Can you tell what is meant by percentage? Think for a while. You are right. Percentage is the numerator of a fraction whose denominator is 100. To represent percentage, we use this sign, which means 1 by 100. Now let's find the percentage of 2 by 5, 7 by 20, and 1 by 4. If we want to represent a fraction in percentage form, then first we have to find its equivalent fraction, whose denominator is 100. Now, can you tell how will you express 2 by 5 in percentage? Think for a while. Let me tell you. To convert any fraction into percentage, we multiply it by 100 by 100, that is, by 100%. This means percentage of flowers collected by Dinesh is equal to 2 by 5 into 100 by 100, which is equal to 2 by 5 into 100%, which is equal to 40%. Similarly, we can say that percentage of flowers collected by Ramesh is equal to 7 by 20 into 100%, which is equal to 35%. And Rahul collected 1 by 4 into 100%, which is equal to 25%. By comparing percentages, we can say that maximum flowers is equal to 40% collected by Dinesh. Till now, we have learned the conversion of fractions into percentages. Sometimes, it is necessary to convert percentage into fraction. Now consider 25% of the cake is eaten by Vipul. Then what part of the cake has he eaten? In order to find this, we need to convert 25% into fraction. Till now, we have learned to convert fractions into percentages. If you take the complete part of a whole, How will you express it in percentage? Think for a while. You've got it right. A complete part of a whole will be 100%. If we consider half of its part, then half of 100% will be 50%. Similarly, if we consider half of this half part, that is 1/4 part, then it will be 50%, that is 25%. So 25% is equal to 1/4. Therefore, we can say that Vipul has eaten 1/4 part of the cake. In mathematics, to convert percentage into fractions, we use 1/100 in the place of percentage. Then, we will express the obtained fraction in its simplest form. Here, part of the cake eaten by Vipul is equal to 25%, which is equal to 25 into 1/100, which is equal to 25/100, which is equal to 1/4. Similarly, remaining part of the cake is equal to 100% minus 25%, which is equal to 75%, that is 75/100 or 3/4. So, to express percentage in fraction, first we will find the value of percentage, then express it in the form of the corresponding fraction. Now let's learn the conversion of decimal to percent and vice versa. Suppose we have to express 0.546 in percentage. Just as we multiplied 100% to convert a fraction into percentage, in the same way, we will multiply decimal numbers with 100% to convert into percentage. So, 0.546 is equal to 0.546 into 100%, which is equal to 54.6%. Similarly, we can write 1.75 as 1.75 into 100%, which is equal to 175%. In both situations, we can see that the percent has the same numbers as in decimal number, only the decimal point is moved to the right. In general, we can say that to obtain percentage of any decimal number, move the decimal point 2 positions towards the right. With this understanding, can you tell the method to convert percentage into decimal? Think for a while. You've got it right. If we want to express a percentage into decimal, then in the place of percentage, we will write 1/100. That means we will divide the percent by 100. Here, 75% is equal to 75/100. That means 75 out of 100, which is equal to 0.75. In general form, we can say, to convert percent into decimal, we move the decimal point 2 positions towards the left. Today, we have learnt to express any fraction into percentage, the fraction is multiplied by 100%. To express decimal into percent, the decimal point is moved 2 positions towards the right, and on the contrary, to convert percent into decimal, the decimal point is moved 2 positions towards the left. In the next video, we will learn to find percent to number and ratio to percent. Today, we will learn to find number from percent and percent from ratio. Suppose a class has 52 students, out of which 75% are ready to go for a picnic. So tell me how many students are ready to go for a picnic. To find the number of students going for a picnic, we need to find 75% of total 52 students. That means we have to find the product of 75% into 52. In order to do this, we express 75% in the form of a fraction, which is 75/100. If we simplify 75/100, we get the fraction 3/4. Now, we multiply 3/4 by 52. Here we can divide 52 by 4, whose result is 13. Then, we multiply 13 by 3 to get 39. Therefore, The number of students ready to go for the picnic is 39. Let us suppose a flower pot has some white flowers and some yellow flowers. The ratio of white flowers to yellow flowers is 3:7. Just think, on the basis of ratio, can we find the percent of white flowers and yellow flowers? Think for a while. Let me tell you, we cannot get the actual number of objects with the ratio, but we can find the total number of parts of each object. Here, out of the total flowers, 3 parts of white flowers and 7 parts of yellow flowers are there. In this way, we can say that here 3 plus 7 is equal to 10, out of which 3 parts are white flowers. Therefore, part of white flowers is 3 by 10 and yellow flowers will be 7 by 10. Now, we can express it as percent. 3 by 10 into 100% is equal to 30%, and 7 by 10 into 100% is 70%. Therefore, in order to find the percent from ratio, first we add the numbers expressed in ratio to find the total number of parts. Then, from the total parts, express the part of individual objects in the form of a fraction. Then convert the obtained fraction into percentage. Today, we have learned to find the number from percent and percent from ratio. In the next video, we will solve examples on percentage, fraction, and decimals. Today, we will see examples related to percentages, fractions, and decimals. Example 1. Mohit had red, green, and blue marbles in the ratio of 5:6:7. Find the percentage of green marbles. Mohit had red, green, and blue marbles in the ratio of 5:6:7. Here, we come to know that out of total parts, 5 parts are red, 6 parts are green, and 7 parts are blue marbles. Here, we can say that the total marbles he has are 5 plus 6 plus 7, that is 18 equal parts, out of which green marbles are of 6 parts. Therefore, out of the total marbles, green marbles are 6 by 18 parts. This can be written in its simplest form as 1 by 3. To express it in percentage, we need to multiply 1 by 3 by 100%. 1 by 3 into 100% is equal to 100 by 3, that is 33 1 by 3%. Therefore, among the total marbles, green marbles are 33 1 by 3%. Next example. Express the following percentages into decimals. 113.6% is equal to 113.6 into 1 by 100, which is equal to 1.136. To express a percentage into decimal, we will move the decimal point 2 positions towards the left. In 113.6, after moving the decimal point 2 positions towards the left, we get the decimal form 113.6 as 1.136. Similarly, to express 68.4% in decimal, we will move the decimal point 2 positions towards the left. Since there is no digit before the digit 6, we will write the placeholder 0. By doing so, we get the decimal form of 68.4% as 0.684. Next example. Shelley and Payal purchased a book together. Shelley has given rupees 36 to buy the book, which is 40% of the total price of the book. Then find out how much money did Payal give to purchase the book. This example seems very complicated, but if we use the correct understanding of percentage, then we can obtain the answer very easily. So let's find the solution of this problem. First, focus on the statement, Shelley has given rupees 36 to buy the book, which is 40% of the total price of the book. Can you tell what this means? Think for a while. Let me tell you. Let's understand it with some questions. Did Shelley pay the total price of the book? No. Out of the total price, how much part did she pay? 40%. Can we say the amount paid by Shelley is equal to 40% of the total amount? Yes. But Shelley has given 36 rupees. So what does it mean? Think for a while. You've got it right. 36 rupees is equal to 40% of the total price. Therefore, 36 rupees is equal to 40 by 100 into total price, which is equal to 2 by 5 into total price. That means 36 rupees is equal to 2/5 into the total price. If we multiply left-hand side and right-hand side by the reciprocal of 2 by 5, that is 5 by 2, then we get 36 into 5 by 2 is equal to 2 by 5 into 5 by 2 into total price. That means 36 into 5 by 2 is equal to the total price. Therefore, total price is equal to 36 into 5 divided by 2 or 18 into 5, which is rupees 90. Is this the answer to the given question? No. We need to find out the amount paid by Payal. We can find this in the following way. Amount paid by Payal is equal to total price of the book minus amount paid by Shaili, which is equal to 90 minus 36, which is 54. Therefore, Payal has given 54 rupees. Today, we have seen examples related to percentage, fractions, and decimals. In the next video, we will see some misconceptions related to this. Today, we will see some misconceptions related to percentages, fractions, and decimals. Misconception 1. What is the meaning of the following statement? There are 20% neem trees in the forest. Many times, students fail to understand the concept of percentage. When they read these kind of statements, they understand them in the wrong way. Here, some students ignore the percentage sign and assume that there are 20 trees in the forest. This is an incorrect understanding. Therefore, option 1 is incorrect. Some students know that the percent sign is used in the context of 100, but they get confused with the meaning of percent, whether it is 100 or 1 by 100. This confusion is due to lack of proper understanding of the percentage concept. Some students consider percent sign as equal to 100 and obtain the value of 20% as 2000. This is also an incorrect understanding. Therefore, option 2 is incorrect. Since the meaning of percent sign is 1 by 100, therefore 20% is equal to 20 into 1 by 100, which is equal to 20 by 100. That means in the forest, out of the total number of trees, 20 by 100 part is of neem trees. That means out of every 100 trees, 20 are neem trees. With this understanding, the correct answer is given as option 4. Sometimes, students find fraction form of 20%, that is, 20 by 100, but fail to understand its correct meaning. They think that in the forest there are 100 trees, out of which 20 are neem trees. But this is incorrect. Therefore, option 3 is incorrect. The number of trees can be more or less than 100. Neem trees can be 200 out of 1000 or 10 out of 50. In both situations, we say there are 20% neem trees in the forest because 200 by 1000 is equal to 10 by 50 is equal to 20 by 100 is equal to 20%. Misconception 2. In the given picture, find the percentage of the shaded part. Here, there are a total of 12 circles in which 2 circles are shaded. Therefore, we can say that the shaded part is 2 by 12. To express this fraction in percentage, we will multiply 2 by 12 with 100%. 2 by 12 into 100% is equal to 1 by 6 into 100%, which is equal to 100 by 6%, which is equal to 16 4 by 6%, or 16 2 by 3%. Therefore, the correct answer is option 1. Sometimes, while finding percent, students consider the shaded part as the numerator and the part which is not shaded as the denominator. By doing so, they write the fraction for the shaded part as 2 by 10. Then, they convert it into percentage by multiplying it with 100, due to which the result obtained will be 20%, which is incorrect. Therefore, option 2 is incorrect. Today, we have seen misconceptions regarding percentages, fractions, and decimals. Today, we will learn cost price, selling price, profit, loss, and discount. Each one of us likes shopping. We buy everything from small items like chocolates, biscuits, clothes, to big items like refrigerators, cars, houses, etc. In each and every purchase, there are some important concepts like cost price and selling price. Let's understand them. A shopkeeper purchases a television from a company at a cost of rupees 8,000. This shopkeeper purchased the television for rupees 8,000. The price at which an item is purchased is called the cost price of that item. Here, rupees 8,000 is the cost price for the shopkeeper. Cost price is written as CP. He keeps the television for sale in his shop. Now suppose the shopkeeper sells the television to a customer for rupees 8,500. The price at which an item is sold is called selling price of that item. The selling price of the television for the shopkeeper is rupees 8,500. Selling price is simply written as SP. Can you tell whether rupees 8,500 is the cost price or the selling price for the customer? Think for a while. Absolutely correct. Since the customer purchased the television for rupees 8,500, therefore, rupees 8,500 is the cost price for the customer. Now let's understand what is profit and loss. The shopkeeper purchased the television for rupees 8,000 and sold it for rupees 8,500. That means selling price is greater than the cost price. In this situation, the shopkeeper received rupees 500 more than the price he had paid for the television. We say that there is a profit of rupees 500 for the shopkeeper. In this way, the selling price is greater than the cost price. Then, profit is equal to selling price minus cost price. Now suppose the shopkeeper had to sell the television which he purchased for rupees 8,000 at the price of rupees 7,500 for some reason. In this situation, the shopkeeper cannot make a profit because the selling price is less than the cost price. In such a situation, there will be a loss of rupees 500 to the shopkeeper. In this way, if the selling price is less than the cost price, then loss is equal to cost price minus selling price. Now suppose the shopkeeper sells the television purchased for rupees 8,000 at the price of 8,000 only. Then, is there a profit or a loss for him? Think for a while. Absolutely correct. Since both the cost price and the selling price are equal, there is neither a profit nor a loss. Now let us understand what discount is. To entice buyers, shopkeepers often offer some discount on the actual value of the items. You might have seen advertisements like 20% off on shirts, 50% off on jeans, and many more. Mostly, this discount is offered on the actual value of the item. Let's understand this with an example. Suppose the actual cost of a mobile phone is rupees 10,000. While selling it to the customer, the shopkeeper sold it for a 5% discount. Find the selling price of the mobile phone. In this situation, first, we will calculate the discount. Since the shopkeeper has given a 5% discount on the actual price, we can say that discount is equal to 5% of rupees 10,000. That means 5 by 100 into 10,000, which is equal to 5 into 100, which is equal to rupees 500. Therefore, selling price is equal to actual cost minus discount, which is equal to rupees 10,000 minus rupees 500, which is equal to rupees 9,500. Today, we have learned cost price, selling price, profit, loss, and discount. In the next video, we will see some interesting examples based on this. In the previous video, we have learned about cost price and selling price. Today, we will see some interesting examples of cost price and selling price. From a computer manufacturing company, a shopkeeper purchased a computer for rupees 29,540 and sold it to a buyer for rupees 37,468. How much profit or loss is made by the shopkeeper? Since the shopkeeper has purchased the computer for rupees 29,540, this is his cost price. If he sells the computer to a customer for rupees 37,468, then the selling price for the shopkeeper is rupees 37,468. By looking at the cost price and selling price, can you tell whether the shopkeeper has made a profit or a loss? Think for a while. Absolutely correct. Since the selling price is greater than the cost price, the shopkeeper has made a profit. Since profit is equal to selling price minus cost price, which is equal to 37,468 minus 29,540, which is equal to rupees 7,928, the shopkeeper has made a profit of rupees 7,928. Next example. Priya has bought a frock from a shop. The price of the frock was rupees 340, but the shopkeeper gave her a discount of 5%. If the shopkeeper purchased it for rupees 335, then how much profit or loss is made by him? The cost price for the shopkeeper is rupees 335. He kept the selling price of the frock as rupees 340, but while selling it to Priya, he gave a discount of 5% on it. Here, 5% discount means rupees 5 off on every 100. That means discount of 5 by 100 on rupee 1. So on rupees 340 into 5 by 100 is equal to rupees 17 discount will be given. Therefore, subtracting discount from the selling price of the frock gives the discounted selling price of the frock. Thus, the selling price will be rupees 340 minus rupees 17, which is equal to rupees 323. Now we know the cost price and selling price. By observing these, can you tell whether the shopkeeper made a profit or a loss? Think for a while. Absolutely correct. Since selling price is less than cost price, the shopkeeper has faced a loss. Therefore, loss is equal to cost price minus selling price, which is equal to rupees 335 minus rupees 323, which is equal to rupees 12. That means the shopkeeper faced a loss of rupees 12. Next example. A sari merchant buys 200 saris from a company. He sells them at a price of rupees 250 each, due to which he makes a profit of rupees 6,390. If the merchant bought all 200 saris at a similar price, then what is the price paid by him for one sari? Though the given example seems difficult, it is actually very simple. Let's solve this. First of all, we will see what information has been given in question and what we need to find out. From the example, it is clear that the number of saris purchased by the merchant is equal to 200. He sold them at a price of rupees 250 each, which means total selling price of 200 saris is equal to 200 into rupees 250, which is equal to rupees 50,000. It is given in the example that on selling 200 saris, the merchant made a profit of rupees 6,390. What we need to find out is the price paid by the merchant while purchasing the saris. That means we need to calculate the cost price of saris purchased by the merchant. Just think of how we're going to do this. Let me tell you. Since profit is equal to selling price minus cost price, therefore, cost price can be obtained by subtracting the profit from the selling price. So, cost price is equal to rupees 50,000 minus rupees 6,390, which is equal to rupees 43,610. Therefore, the merchant has paid 43,610 for all the saris. If the cost price of all 200 saris is equal to 43,610, then the cost of one sari is equal to cost of all 200 saris divided by the number of saris, which is equal to 43,610 divided by 200, which is equal to 218.05. Therefore, we can say that the merchant purchased each sari for 218.05 rupees. Today, we have seen examples of cost price and selling price. In the next video, we will clear some misconceptions related to this. Today, we will see misconceptions related to cost price and selling price and an interesting question. Misconception 1. Which of the following statements is true for cost price and selling price? Some students believe that the selling price is always greater than the cost price because they think the items purchased are always sold at higher prices so that it can be a profit. They do not understand that an item can be sold at a price lesser than the cost price, which may cause a loss. Therefore, selling price is always greater than the cost price is an incorrect statement. In many situations, selling price could be less than the cost price. Some of these situations are as follows. A fruit seller purchased pomegranates from a farmer at the rate of rupees 30 per kg, but due to a small number of buyers, he was not able to sell them. At last, he decided to sell those pomegranates somehow, for which he set their price as rupees 25 per kg, which means selling price is lesser than the cost price. Shopkeepers often purchase items in large quantities. Sometimes many of them get damaged. Such damaged products are hard to sell. That is why a shopkeeper sells such items at lower prices. Sometimes this price is even less than the cost price. Now, from all these situations, you can understand that option 1 is an incorrect answer. The correct answer is selling price can be greater than, smaller than, or equal to the cost price. Option 2 is the correct answer. Misconception 2. A shopkeeper buys a book for rupees 239 and sells it to Manish for rupees 210. In this situation, what will be the cost price of the book for the shopkeeper? Sometimes, due to confusion in the names of cost price and selling price, the students understand that the price at which the shopkeeper purchases an item is called selling price, and the price at which he sells an item is called cost price. But this is a misunderstanding. With this understanding, incorrect answer option 2 is chosen. The correct understanding is that the price at which the shopkeeper purchases an item is called a cost price, and the price at which he sells an item is called selling price. Along with this, it is also necessary to understand that here rupees 210 is the selling price for the shopkeeper, and since Manish is purchasing the book at this price, 210 is the cost price for Manish. Now let's solve an exciting example. The ratio of selling price to cost price of an item is 5:4. Find the percentage of profit for the shopkeeper on that item. Do you know that we can solve many examples without using the formulae? We will solve this example in this way. Here, the ratio of selling price to cost price of an item is equal to 5:4. That means selling price of an item is 5/4 parts of its cost price. Since neither the cost price nor the selling price is given, it may seem difficult for you to find the profit percent. But for your information, we can solve such problems on the basis of the given information only. That means SP divided by CP is equal to 5 divided by 4. If we consider cost price is equal to rupees 4, then the selling price will be rupees 5. Therefore, profit is equal to SP minus CP, which is equal to 5 minus 4, which is equal to rupees 1. We can say that there is a profit of rupee 1 on every rupees 4 of cost price of that item. So profit percent is equal to profit by CP into 100%, which is equal to 1/4 into 100%, which is equal to 25%. In this way, you can solve many examples very easily. Today, we have seen misconceptions related to the cost price and selling price and an interesting question. Today, we will learn about profit and loss and increase and decrease in percentage. Have you ever wondered how a shopkeeper earns his livelihood? The shopkeeper sells goods to earn for his daily needs. And where does he bring these goods from? He purchases them from big shopkeepers or from the companies that make them. The price at which an item is purchased is called the cost price of that item. We write cost price in simple form as CP. Then, the shopkeeper sells the items he purchases. The price at which an item is sold is called the selling price of that item. We write selling price in simple form as SP. Does the shopkeeper sell the item at the same price that he buys? No. Generally, any shopkeeper tries to sell an item at a price higher than the price purchased. That is, he tries to keep the selling price higher than the cost price. If the selling price is higher than the cost price, then the shopkeeper gets his cost price along with some extra money, which we call as profit. Therefore, we can say that profit is equal to selling price minus cost price. Is the selling price always greater than the cost price in every situation? Think for a while. Absolutely correct. This is not possible in every situation. For example, a shopkeeper purchased some mirrors from a company, but while transportation, glass of some mirrors get damaged. Then, in this situation, it becomes compulsory for him to sell the mirrors at a price lower than the cost price. In such a situation, he has to suffer a loss. We can say that if the selling price is lower than the cost price, then it is called a loss, which is equal to the cost price minus selling price. Let us suppose Amar purchased a photo frame for 50 rupees and sold it to his friend for 55. Leena also purchased a similar photo frame for 40 rupees and sold it to another person for 45. So tell me who gets more profit. Profit of Amar is equal to selling price minus cost price, which is equal to 55 minus 50, which is 5 rupees. Similarly, for Leena, selling price minus cost price is equal to 45 minus 40, which is again 5 rupees. Can we say that both get equal profit? Think for a while. No, we cannot say this, because even though there is a profit of rupees 5, Amar has earned a profit of 5 on cost price of 50, whereas Leena has earned a profit of rupees 5 on cost price of 40. Since cost prices are not equal in both cases, we cannot say that both get equal profit. Then how are we going to find out who has got more profit? One way to do this is to express the profit as a percentage. We know that to represent any fraction in percentage, we multiply it by 100. Therefore, profit percentage is equal to profit by cost price into 100. So, profit percentage of Amar is equal to 5 by 50 into 100, which is equal to 10. That means Amar has made 10% profit on the cost price. And the profit percentage of Leena is equal to 5 by 40 into 100, which is equal to 12.5. That means Leena has made 12.5% profit on the cost price. Now tell me who earned greater profit. Think for a while. You got it correct. Since 12.5% is greater than 10%, Leena made more profit. Similarly, we can also represent loss as percentage. Suppose if Amar had sold the 50 rupee photo frame for 42 rupees, then he faces a loss of rupees 8. That means, in this situation, Amar has faced a loss of rupees 8 on cost price of 50 rupees. To represent any fraction in percentage, we multiply it by 100. Therefore, loss percentage for Amar is equal to loss by cost price into 100. Remember that profit or loss is always obtained on cost price. So, loss percentage for Amar is equal to 8 by 50 into 100, which is equal to 16. So, he gets a 16% loss on his cost price. Similarly, if Leena has sold 40 rupee photo frame for rupees 32, then she faces a loss of rupees 8. So, loss percentage of Leena is equal to 8 by 40 into 100, which is equal to 20. So, Leena has faced a loss of 20% on the cost price. Now here, 20% is greater than 16%. So, Leena has faced more losses compared to Amar. Thus, by expressing profit or loss in percentage, we can easily understand them and we can compare them correctly. Before ending this video, let's understand one more concept related to percentage. Increase or decrease of quantity can also be expressed in percentage. Let us suppose the price of petrol has increased from 60 rupees to 62 rupees. In such a situation, we can find the percentage increase as follows. Percentage increase is equal to increase by original price into 100. Here, 62 minus 60 is equal to 2 and original price is 60. Therefore, percentage increase is equal to 2 by 60 into 100, which is equal to 3 and 1/3. Similarly, suppose price of petrol has decreased from 60 to 55. Then here, the original price will be 60 and decrease is 60 minus 55, which is 5. So, percentage decrease is 5 by 60 into 100, which is 8 1/3. Remember that increase or decrease as percentage is always obtained on the original price. Today, we have learnt profit and loss, and increase or decrease as percentage. In the next video, we will see some examples related to this. Today, we will see some examples of profit and loss. Example 1. A person purchased a television for 12,800 rupees and sold it at a loss of 12%. Find out what the selling price of the television would have been. Cost price of the television is equal to 12,800 rupees. Loss percent is 12. This means on every 100 rupees of cost price, there is a loss of 12 rupees. We can say that on every 1 rupee of cost price, there is a loss of rupees 12 by 100. Therefore, the total loss on 12,800 is equal to 12,800 into 12 by 100, which is equal to 1,536. Selling price of the television is equal to cost price minus loss, or SP is equal to CP minus loss, which is equal to 12,800 minus 1,536, which is equal to 11,264. Thus, the selling price of television is rupees 11,264. Example 2. The cost price of one cycle is 2,340. What would be the percentage profit or loss for selling it at rupees 1,600? Cost price of the cycle is equal to 2,340. Selling price is 1,600 rupees. Here, cost price is greater than the selling price. That means this has resulted in a loss. Loss is equal to cost price minus selling price, which is equal to 2,340 minus 1,600, which is equal to 740 rupees. Loss percentage is equal to loss by cost price into 100, which is equal to 740 by 2,340 into 100, which is equal to 31.62. Therefore, if the cost price of the cycle is 2,340, then selling it at 1,600 incurs a loss of 31.62%. Example 3. The selling price of a chair was rupees 600. If the shopkeeper sold it for 20% profit, then based on the given information, find the cost price of the chair. Selling price of the chair is equal to 600 rupees. Here, selling price tells us that the shopkeeper sold the chair for rupees 600. Selling this at this price gave him a profit of 20%. We have to find the cost price, that is, cost at which the shopkeeper purchased the chair. In the previous video, we have learnt that profit percent is equal to profit by cost price into 100. That means 20 is equal to profit by cost price into 100. That is, 20 by 100 is equal to profit by cost price. Profit is equal to 20 by 100 into cost price. We can also write this as profit is equal to 20% into cost price. What do you understand from this? Think for a while. Absolutely correct. 20% of the cost price is profit. Let us suppose you have been given P percentage profit. Then it means P% part of the cost price is profit. Similarly, if you have been given L percentage loss, then it means L% part of the cost price is loss. You already know that profit is equal to selling price minus cost price. So, we can say that selling price minus cost price is equal to 20 by 100 into cost price, which is equal to 1 by 5 into cost price. We can rearrange this and write it as selling price is equal to 1 by 5 into cost price plus cost price. Now, using the distributive property of multiplication, if we write cost price outside the bracket, then inside the bracket we get 1 by 5 plus 1. Since 1 by 5 plus 1 is equal to 1 by 5 plus 5 by 5 is equal to 6 by 5. So selling price is equal to 6 by 5 into cost price. Multiplying both sides by the reciprocal of 6 by 5, that is 5 by 6, we get selling price into 5 by 6 is equal to cost price. That is, cost price is equal to 5 by 6 into selling price. Therefore, cost price is equal to 5 by 6 into 600, which is equal to 5 into 100, which is 500 rupees. Thus, the cost price of the chair is rupees 500. Today, we have seen some examples on profit and loss. In the next video, we will see some misconceptions related to profit and loss. Today, we will see some misconceptions related to profit and loss. Misconception 1. A person purchased a table for rupees 550 and sold it at a loss of 10%. What is the selling price of the table? Here, cost price is rupees 550 and loss is 10%. That means loss is equal to rupees 10 by 100 into 550, which is equal to 55 rupees. Students often think that selling price is always greater than cost price. In order to get selling price, they add loss to cost price. This is a misconception which leads to the incorrect answer of rupees 605. The correct understanding is that selling price can be lower than the cost price. In the given example, loss is given. That means selling price is less than cost price. So by subtracting loss from cost price, we obtain the selling price. Therefore, selling price is equal to 550 minus 55, which is equal to rupees 495. So the correct answer is option 2. Misconception 2. A shopkeeper sold a book for rupees 80 on which he made a profit of rupees 30. Find out the profit percent for the shopkeeper. Some students try to find the profit or loss percent on selling price. That means they find the profit percent in the following way. Profit percent is equal to 30 by 80 into 100, which is equal to 37.5. But profit percent or loss percent is never calculated on selling price. Therefore, option 2 is incorrect. The correct understanding is that profit percent or loss percent is always calculated on cost price. Therefore, profit percent is equal to profit by cost price into 100. We know the selling price, but we don't know the cost price. So let's find out the cost price. Since profit is equal to selling price minus cost price is equal to selling price minus profit, which is equal to 80 rupees minus 30 rupees, which is equal to rupees 50. Therefore, profit percent is equal to 30 by 50 into 100, which is equal to 60. This means the profit is 60%, and your correct answer is option 1. Today, we have seen some misconceptions related to profit and loss. Today, we will learn about simple interest. There are many festivals celebrated in your school or house. Many times, we don't have the necessary things required for celebration with us, so we borrow them for some time. Example, water jars, tents, speakers, etc. When we return these items back, we pay a fee for these. Similarly, sometimes it becomes necessary to borrow money just as we borrow these items. Like if a person wants to start a business but doesn't have the sufficient money, then he borrows money for some time from a bank or a person. The money which is borrowed is called as the principal. Before borrowing, some terms and conditions like time and fee are set between the borrower and the lender. The person uses the money borrowed for a fixed period of time. When the borrower returns the principal amount, then along with the principal he needs to pay a fee for the time period for which he has borrowed the money. This fee returned along with the principal is called the interest. On adding the interest and the principal, we calculate the total money which needs to be returned. This money is known as amount. The return period and total interest are mentioned in the terms and conditions. Generally, the interest for a period of 1 year is expressed in percent, which we call the rate of interest. If it is given that the rate of interest is 8% per year or 8% yearly and the principal is rupees 100, then at the end of the year, along with rupees 100, one needs to give 8% of rupees 100, which is equal to rupees 8 extra. Here, the amount is equal to 100 plus 8, which is 108 to be given. Now let's understand it in a better way with an example. Prakash borrows rupees 20,000 from Ramesh for 3 years. While taking the loan, they agree on the condition that Prakash will pay 12% interest per year to Ramesh for using his money. Let us find how much money Prakash has to return to Ramesh after 3 years. Here, rate of interest is 12% per year. Can you tell me what this means? Think for a while. You got it right. The rate of interest of 12% or 12 by 100 per year means Prakash will pay an interest of rupees 12 yearly on rupees 100. We can say that for a period of 1 year, he will pay an interest of rupees 12 by 100 on rupee 1. Similarly, for a period of 1 year on 20,000 rupees, he has to pay rupees 20,000 multiplied by 12 by 100, which is equal to rupees 2,400 as an interest. But this is only for 1 year. Prakash has borrowed money for 3 years. Therefore, for 3 years, the interest will be 20,000 multiplied by 12 by 100 multiplied by 3, which is equal to 2,400 into 3, which is equal to 7,200 rupees. Thus, the amount to be returned after 3 years is 20,000 principal plus rupees 7,200 interest, which is equal to rupees 27,200. There is an important point to be noted here. The principal is same for all 3 years. If principal is same for every year, then interest will also be the same. Interest calculated in this manner is called simple interest. As you can see, to find the simple interest, we have multiplied principal, rate of interest, and time. Can you formulate an expression for calculating simple interest? Think for a while. Absolutely right. This will be simple interest is equal to principal into rate of interest into time. If we represent simple interest as I, principal with P, rate of interest with R% or R by 100, and time with T, then we can write the formula to calculate simple interest, that is I is equal to P into R by 100 into T or PRT by 100. Remember that time should always be expressed in years. If time is given in months, then convert it into years by dividing it by 12. Similarly, you should know that if we know the value of any 3 quantities among these 4, then we can find the value of the 4th unknown quantity by slightly modifying the formula. Also, if the amount is represented as A, then we can write the amount as A is equal to P plus I. Today, we have learned simple interest. In the next video, we will solve some examples related to it. Today, we will see some examples related to simple interest. Praveen has taken a loan of rupees 12,000 from a moneylender. The rate of interest is fixed as 13% per annum. Find out how much money Praveen has to pay the moneylender as simple interest after 3 years. Solution 1. Here, rupees 12,000 is borrowed, therefore, the principal is 12,000 rupees. Rate of interest is 13% per year. This means if Praveen takes a loan of rupees 100, then after 1 year he has to give rupees 13 as interest to the moneylender. Thus, on the loan amount of rupees 12,000, the interest for 1 year will be 12,000 into 13 by 100, which is equal to rupees 1,560. Therefore, simple interest for 3 years is 3 into 1,560, which is equal to rupees 4,680. That is, after 3 years, Praveen will have to pay rupees 4,680 as simple interest to the moneylender. Solution 2. We can also solve this example with the help of a formula. Do you remember the formula for simple interest? Think for a while. You've got it right. The formula to calculate simple interest is I is equal to PRT by 100. Here, P is equal to the principal or 12,000 rupees. T is time, 3 years. R is the rate of interest, which is equal to 13% per year. Therefore, simple interest I is equal to 12,000 into 13 into 3 divided by 100, which is equal to rupees 4,680. That is, After 3 years, Praveen will pay rupees 4,680 as simple interest to the moneylender. Next example. Kamala has deposited rupees 35,000 in a bank at 7.5% rate of interest per annum. Find the amount she will get after 9 months. This is a very interesting question. Here, we have to take care of certain conditions. The first thing is to note that the time is given in months. Therefore, it is necessary to convert it into years. Can you tell how to convert this? Think for a while. Here, we use unitary method. As we know, 12 months is equal to 1 year. Therefore, 1 month is equal to 1 by 12 year. Now, we can say that 9 months is equal to 1 by 12 into 9. That is 9 by 12. In its simplest form, it can be written as 3 by 4 years. Let's now find the simple interest. Formula to calculate simple interest is I is equal to PRT by 100. Here, I is equal to the simple interest. Here, P is equal to principal or rupees 35,000. T is equal to time or 3 by 4 years. R is equal to rate of interest, which is equal to 7.5% per year, which is equal to 75 by 10% per year, which is equal to 15 by 2% per year. By doing so, I is equal to 35,000 into 15 by 2 into 3 by 4 by 100, which is equal to 35,000 into 15 into 3 by 2 into 4 into 100, which is equal to 1968.75. Please note that rupees 1968.75 is the simple interest, but in the given question, we are asked to find the amount. So the amount is equal to principal plus interest. That is, A is equal to P plus I. A is equal to rupees 35,000 plus rupees 1968.75, which is equal to rupees 36,968.75. Thus, after 9 months, Kamala will get rupees 36,968.75 as the amount. Example 3. Ramesh has opened a student savings account in a bank and deposited rupees 2,000 at 6% rate of interest per year. After how many years will the amount in his account become rupees 2,360? Here, P or the principal is equal to 2,000 rupees. R rate of interest is 6% per year. A, the amount is equal to rupees 2,360 and we have to find out the time. Amount is equal to principal plus interest. Therefore, 2,360 is equal to 2,000 plus interest. Therefore, interest is equal to 2,360 minus 2,000, which is equal to rupees 360. To find the number of years in which the simple interest will become rupees 360, we need to find simple interest formula. I is equal to PRT by 100. Therefore, 360 is equal to 2000 into 6 into T divided by 100, or 360 into 100 divided by 2000 into 6 is equal to T. Or we can also write it as T is equal to 360 into 100 divided by 2000 into 6 years. After solving, we get T is equal to 3 years. This means time is equal to 3 years. That is, after 3 years, the amount in his account will be rupees 2,360. So today, we have seen some examples related to simple interest. In the next video, we will see some misconceptions related to this. Today, we will see some misconceptions and common mistakes related to simple interest. Misconception 1. What will be the simple interest for 10 years on rupees 1,000 at the annual rate of 10%? The annual rate is 10%. This means the annual interest on rupees 100 is rupees 10. Then the annual interest on rupees 1000 is equal to 1000 into 10 by 100, which is equal to rupees 100. Here, students calculate interest for only 1 year. They forget to calculate the interest for 10 years. As a result, they get an incorrect answer, that is option 1. To find the correct answer, we have to multiply interest for 1 year with total time to get total simple interest. Since simple interest for 1 year is rupees 100, then interest for 10 years is equal to 100 into 10, that is rupees 1000. If we solve this example using formula, then these mistakes can be avoided. Formula for simple interest is I is equal to PRT by 100. Here I is equal to simple interest, P principal, R annual rate of interest, and T time. Therefore, I is equal to 1000 into 10 by 100, which is equal to 1000. Thus, option 2 is the correct answer. Misconception 2. Ravi lends rupees 3,500 to Prakash at 20% annual rate for 2 years. Find the amount Prakash has to pay Ravi after 2 years. Here, simple interest is I is equal to PRT by 100, which is equal to 3,500 into 20 into 2 divided by 100, which is equal to rupees 1,400. Sometimes, students do not focus on what is asked in the question. They just find simple interest and give incorrect answers and choose option 1. Here, we have to find the total amount Prakash has to pay Ravi. To calculate this, we have to find the sum of principal and interest to be returned to Ravi. Since principal plus interest is equal to amount, we have to find amount in this example. Amount is equal to principal plus interest, which is equal to 3,500 plus 1,400, which is equal to rupees 4,900. Therefore, the correct answer is Prakash will pay rupees 4,900 to Ravi after 2 years. Thus, the correct answer is option 2. Misconception 3. Rekha's father deposited rupees 25,000 on simple interest in a bank. If the rate of interest is 11.5% per annum, then how much interest will be deposited after 15 years? We will solve this example by using formula of simple interest. Here simple interest is equal to I is equal to PRT by 100, which is equal to 25,000 into 11.5 into 15 divided by 100, which is equal to rupees 43,125. Here, simple interest is more than principal. Usually, students misunderstand that interest can never be more than the principal. Therefore, they try to subtract principal from simple interest and get 18,125, which is incorrect. Since the rate of interest and time are more in this situation, interest can be more than the principal. Hence, option 2 is the correct answer. Along with these misconceptions, students commit a common mistake. While calculating simple interest, students either forget to convert time given in months into years or ignore it. This leads to incorrect simple interest. For example, if P is equal to rupees 5,000, T is equal to 24 months, and R is equal to 10% rate per year, then they do not convert time given in months to years. This results in an incorrect simple interest. Since interest is represented per year, it is necessary to convert the given time into years. Here, we will convert 24 months into 2 years by dividing it by 12. This will result in giving us rupees 1,000 as the simple interest, which is correct. Therefore, while calculating simple interest, do not forget to convert time given in months into years. Today, we have seen misconceptions and common mistakes related to simple interest.